Hi there, I'm Davey Cretin. Welcome to Cretin Classics. I want to introduce my very special guest who's joining me tonight for the first time. I've done a lot of shows on his channel. I meant to count from Grant's Rock Warehouse. Please welcome the great Grant Arthur.
Don't build me up too much, Cretin, for God's sakes. I'm just a monkey with fiber optic cable. That's all I am. But thank you for having me. Uh, we've done, Davey and I have done all these stick shows on my channel, but I have yet to appear on Davey's channel, and I'm honored. Thank you for asking me to come on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. And besides Grant's Rock
Yes.
Warehouse, he's wearing
Yes,
his
sir.
shirt,
Yes,
spelling
sir.
Haus. We've done the whole Styx series. We've done a lot of other Styx type shows. A Tommy Shaw show we once did. I think it was the first time I was on your channel. Grant is also on the
Adam.
Contrarians. He hosts a lot of shows on the Contrarians channel, and he appears a
Yes,
lot
sir.
on Sea of Tranquility too. So Grant is like they used to say James Brown is the busiest man in showbiz.
I'm
Grant
busy.
is the busiest man on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm pretty busy. People have said that before. I don't know. I'm just doing my thing, Davey. I appreciate it. To follow in the footsteps of Mr. James Brown, I feel pretty good about that.
Nice. And today, of course, we are here. We did a whole stick series on Grant's Rock Warehouse, one of our actually two shows ago.
Yes,
We
sir.
ranked all the albums, studio albums in the Styx catalog, including the
Hmm.
cover CD. And today we are here to name our top 12 tunes by Styx. And if we have time, some honorable mentions at the end, my friends.
If I'm on this show, Creighton, it might go long.
That's okay. I've had
Well, you
long
know what I mean.
shows. I have a two,
I'm just
almost
saying. I like to keep things to an hour, but you get me talking on Sticks and Tommy Shaw and all that, I get all worked up like a giddy schoolgirl. So,
and I have 9 pages of notes. So be
yeah,
prepared
I
for us to go deep.
Oh my! All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're unfamiliar, well, you should be familiar with Cretan because Cretan, this is his channel, and if he's got 11, 12 pages of notes, we are all doomed. So get ready. Make sure you have your seatbelts on.
Yes.
All right, I'm ready. Go ahead. How do you want to do that? How do you want to break this up?
How about three at a time?
I can do three at a time.
12, 11, 10. And that way at the end, we'll do three honorable mentions. So it's 5 times around for each of us. 15 songs divided by
My
three is 5 times.
God, look at this. Everybody, I hope you're brave. I hope you are strapped in for this. So do you want me to start off or do you want to start off?
Yes, start off with your number 12, 11, and 10,
All
Grant.
right, here we go. My number 12, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I am just honored to be on the channel. I'm
Oh,
going to
wait.
start off with the Man of Miracle.
One thing before we
What?
start, I'm going to predict that we will have 5 crossover songs. Let's see how we do at the end.
Uh, we might. We'll see. All right, here we go. Just,
Sorry.
no, it's all good. I don't, hey, we're loose in the warehouse. We're loose over here. All right, number 12. I'm going to go with Man of Miracles, the title track, ladies and gentlemen, off the fourth studio album, released October of 1974 in Wood and Nickel Records. This is, I would say, one of the greatest James Young tracks ever to grace vinyl or CD on a Styx record. You've got great keyboard work from Dennis DeYoung. John Kuralewski, oh my God, his guitar riffs on here are great. And then, of course, James Young. His delivery, as far as vocals and guitar playing on this track, phenomenal. This this was recorded by Gary Laszlo. Am I going to pronounce that right?
Loizo, maybe?
Lozo. Loizo? That
L
sounds right.
O I Z Z O.
Yeah. And I think this record, when you compare this to other records like Equinox, I think this fits in right. This fits in. I mean, it, it- okay. Man of Miracles, as far as I'm concerned, could be on Equinox and it would fit. So the way Styx has progressed from the first album, second, third, fourth to Equinox, I think it's a good transition. And I think that this song easily could fit on Equinox. The album peaked at 154 in the Billboard chart. It didn't certify, no singles. It was a blip on the screen. But Man of Miracles, the track from this album, some of James Young's best work, ladies and gentlemen. That's my number 12. My number 10, we're going to jump to Pieces of Eight. My goodness gracious. Hard Edge Rocker, written by Dennis DeYoung and James Young. But you've got Dennis's vocals on here. So great. I always look at this track as being like, well, is it Last of the Prague? Kind of. Um, but this was produced by Styx at this time. Barry Mraz did the recording. Rob Kingsland did the mixing. But my goodness, this is just absolutely phenomenal. Uh, it's kind of like, well, what do I want to compare it to? I'm thinking if I'm really going to compare it to something, I'm thinking I might compare it to Sweet Madam Blue. It almost seems like Sweet Madam Blue Part 2. Maybe, maybe not. But Dennis sounds great. This album is phenomenal. But my number 10, Queen of Spades. Now, if I was going to do this on another day, my ranking could be different. So don't hold anything that we're talking about today. Don't hold me to it because it could change. Anyway, I like it. Phenomenal. Number 10, I'm going to go with Fooling Yourself, quote unquote, the angry young man off of Grand Illusion. This is a great anthem. This is Tommy Shaw in his prime, in his, come on. You get to Tommy on the Grand Illusion, the songwriting is top notch. Uh, Again, self produced by Styx. You've got Barry Mraz doing the engineering. Uh, it was recorded at Paragon Studios. May it rest in peace. It's not there anymore. Uh, but my God, you've got, I don't hear so much. There are prog elements on this record, but I don't hear so much on this track, so to speak. This was a single, peaked at number 29 on the charts. Um, it's phenomenal. Tommy Shaw was on fire during this period. On fire. So number 10, Fooling Yourself. That is my pick. I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Cretan.
I
Cretan.
I will add great picks, Grant. I will
It's
add
hard for me not to host because I'm usually hosting.
that's
So,
true on multiple
uh,
channels.
yeah, on multiple channels. So for me, not to host is a problem. It's not a problem, but it's a
It
change. All
it
right,
makes the show exciting and interesting. Fooling
there you go.
Yourself definitely is prog. It has a 6/8 section. It has that great
Mhm.
keyboard solo and soloing from
I
Dennis. It's
know,
got the acoustic guitar, the electric guitars, the harmonies. I think it's prog.
but I'm just saying, if you look at this compared to Gentle Giant or anything, it's pretty tame. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
different.
Right. Depends on
It
what your definition of prog is.
it's prog adjacent.
Hmm.
So I meant to start the show with a certain phrase, so I'm going to say it now because, of course, I forgot it. And that phrase is everybody plays this one right. Everybody gets a fresh hot latte and a scone. So I'm going to start off the show with that. My number 12 comes from the Cornerstone record.
Oh.
Ho, ho, ho. But
Hmm.
what song is it? Is it First Time? No, it's not First Time. Is it Babe? No, it's not Babe. It is the Tommy Shaw composition, Love in the Midnight. Five
Hmm.
minutes, 22 seconds. Tommy wrote it, Tommy sang it from the ninth studio album, Cornerstone, which went double platinum, not triple platinum. I'm sure if they reassessed and recertified it, it would be triple, if not quadruple platinum. But
Probably.
as it
Yeah.
stands, double platinum. This is a track so deep that it's the last dang song on the whole darn record. Easily the most progressive rock song on the album. Allegedly never played live until 2014 when Tommy did a partial acoustic version coupled with Crystal Ball at a Styx concert. He only does a minute 40 of it, and he BS's with the crowd a little. Then he goes into Crystal Ball acoustic, and then the band kicks in. He's also played it solo acoustic at an Atlanta Borders bookstore back in the day from the late 90s when he was promoting his solo record at the time, Seven Deadly Zens.
And
Some of
that's
the
when
crowd,
Dennis joined him.
well, this is on YouTube. It's just Tommy. Someone calls out "Love in the Midnight," and he does a verse and a chorus of it. Gets some of the lyrics wrong, so it's a funny version. That's
But
on
Dennis
YouTube.
joins him on that
That's a
video.
different time. And then
Okay.
also Shaw Blades, and you see Willa Vankovic in the background. There at BB King's. I'm not, it could be Manhattan. I'm not sure. I wasn't at the show. It's on YouTube. And he does a version of it. And Jack Blades is sitting there and he has a confused look on his face because Jack Blades has no idea what song Tommy's playing. And it's Love in the Midnight from Cornerstone. So these are all like impromptu acoustic versions of it, and the band never performed it. Now, I know your first Styx concert,
Yes,
1979, 1980, the Cornerstone tour.
correct.
From what I found, there were no live recordings. They didn't play this when you saw them.
Yeah, I don't, well, I was just merely a child then. I don't remember. All I know is I was sitting there in awe of the whole thing, you know?
As was I the following year or two when I saw them.
But I do remember Michael Stanley Band opening. I can tell that. I can tell you that. And I do remember them playing. Oh my God. I remember when the lights dimmed and Dennis DeYoung was just on the stage. What was he doing? I do remember them. I do remember this vividly, that them playing Come Sail Away, because it seemed to be the quote unquote cornerstone of the whole show. So
Nice.
it was
Good
a big deal.
reference. So in this song, I love Tommy Shaw's 12-string guitar work, his passionate vocals, great harmony and backing vocals from Dennis and JY, and specifically in the Looking for Love section, when you first hear Tommy looking for love, Dennis goes higher, looking for love the second time, and JY with the really high harmony, looking for love the third time, each part getting higher and building. The midsection brings the prog to this song. You got Chuck Panazzo very high in the mix here, which is good. He's got that elastic bass sound. Listening to all my songs over again, prepping for this show, he has like
Mhm.
this elastic type sound to his bass, and it stands out in the mix very prominent. And then at 219 to 245, you get the doctor, as they used to call him, Dennis DeYoung, peeling off this spectacular keyboard solo. I wish it would have been longer. 245, Tommy plays a short guitar solo. And at the 312 mark, when the vocals kick back in, that's a high point of the song. And it might be JY soloing towards the end because Tommy's doing his vocal vamping on the song. So, Love in the Midnight, my number 12, an undervalued gem in the catalog. My number 11 comes from an album you mentioned. It is from Pieces of Eight, but it's a different song than you mentioned from Pieces of Eight. There's the CD booklet on one of my Russian 2-in-1 imports. I'm going with a 5 minute,
Bootleg,
44 second. Pardon?
bootleg.
Oh, well, Russian import, we'll call it. Written by Dennis, sung by Dennis, 5 minutes, 44 seconds. I'm okay. From the triple platinum, eighth LP, peaked at number 6 on the charts. Begins with a short introduction, a short drum intro by John Panazzo. And then the band chants, hey, 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 8 skate, 7 on the rotate, which for years I thought was something else. And I thought they were saying sit on it and rotate from Happy Days, which was big on TV at the same time. And until a few days ago, I thought they were saying sit on it, like sit on it, Howard. Mrs. C used to say to her husband occasionally
Ladies and
on
gentlemen,
Happy
don't forget
Days.
Creedon's a big Happy Days fan, so naturally he's
Hey.
going to go right to Happy Days.
But they say, hey, 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 8 skate, 7 on the rotate, which is a craps term, the card game craps, because this album has that theme
Wasn't
in
that
this.
on Laverne and Shirley?
That's Schlemiel Schlemazel, Haas and
Oh,
Fett
I don't know. It all
Incorporated.
sounds the same to me, Davey. I don't know.
Laverne and Shirley used to follow Happy Days on ABC, from what I remember. I have to ask my cousin that. But at any rate, as a kid, I thought it was a Happy Days reference, and I was totally wrong. So you get I'm Okay, which Dennis wrote, and it's a very positive song. It always sat very well with me, and it makes my list here due to his vocal and keyboard work on the song. He's playing a church organ that was recorded at the St. James Cathedral in Chicago. And once again, in my notes, it says Chuck Panazzo, his elastic bass presence is high in the mix. And the song has some simmering guitar fills and leads from co-writer JY, because actually JY co-wrote this song with Dennis. I
Back when
wrote that.
JY was writing songs.
Yeah, which he doesn't do nowadays,
No.
unfortunately. Sort of semi-retired, but that's another story for another time. I wrote Dennis the Menace has some strident synth playing on this song too, and JY comes back in at the end of the song with some more lead guitar until Dennis takes over on synth. It's a really good, upbeat, positive song. I'm Okay from Pieces of Eight, my number 11. My number 10 comes from the big album, The Grand Illusion. And I have to have this on my list. It was the first Styx song I ever heard. It made me fall in love with the band. Written and sung by Dennis, Come Sail Away, a little over 6 minutes long. Their seventh album, released on 7/7/77, as we've discussed on Grant's Rock Warehouse, hit number 8 in the US, number 9 in Canada. The single did. Arguably the band's signature song? I think so. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, well, in 1979, that was the signature song. I don't know how Styx fans view it now. Is Lady more of a signature song after all these years?
I don't
I don't
think
know.
so.
I would have to throw it out to the Styx fan. I don't know. Has Come Sail Away aged as well? Me personally, I love it. But if you listen to FM rock radio today, they never play it. At least
They
they
used
don't
to
in
play it.
Central Ohio. They don't play any Sticks anymore. The only time that okay, here in Ohio, in Central Ohio, the only thing they play is uh Tommy Shaw. Oh shoot. Time on My Hands.
Too
That's
much
the only
time on
thing.
my
Too
hands.
much time on my hands is the only thing they play.
Wow.
Is this a sad world, ladies and gentlemen? It's a sad world. That's all they play. I never hear Come Sail Away. Me in my soul, in my heart, I'd say Come Sail Away is the track. That is the staple. But here in Ohio, it's all Tommy Shaw. They don't play anything else. So Renegade is the song they play all the time.
That's the other one that could be their signature song. Two different
It might
songwriters,
have
two
it,
different singers.
yeah, but that's a good point because I think that might have made that shift. Though I'd be curious to see what people say down below. I don't know.
They
We'd have
play
to have
Blue
other people
Collar
weigh in.
Man and they play Renegade on New York radio last time I listened, which was a while ago. So Dennis, when he wrote this song, he was disillusioned with the way that Equinox and Crystal Ball, their two previous albums, sold for A&M. They signed with a major label from Wooden Nickel, and he thought because Lady did so well upon its re-release in 75 that their two albums would sell better, and they only certified gold. So he was disillusioned with how the band was doing. So he wrote this song, Come Sail Away, and it uses metaphors to describe what he thought would be the band's success. Little did he know that this song would break them out and make them a big band. It's really almost three songs in one, the way I see it. It starts out as a ballad, then it turns into a hard rock song. It has a big progressive rock middle section, elongated section, yet somehow it works. And it's a beloved song by the Styx fandom. JY helps out Dennis with the synthy middle section. He plays keyboards there in the studio and also live. If you've seen them live, there's a little keyboard he goes to in the back to play the the middle section. Tommy Shaw blazes on electric guitar throughout the song, and don't discount the Panazzo twins. John
Nope.
has some fine drumming during the whole tune, and Chuck also pops through in the mix on the bass. Since it fades out, I'm guessing there's a longer version somewhere in the vaults. I hope we get to hear it sometime, but I doubt we will. Now, this was used to good effect on the TV show Freaks and Geeks. So there is it hit the zeitgeist on Freaks and Geeks, which now is a beloved show. Also on South Park. Cartman singing Come Sail Away. Whenever he heard it, he had to sing the whole song, and it was a running joke on a whole episode of South Park. Also, this was used in a couple of films. The 2018 Netflix movie Like Father has Kelsey Grammer and Kristen Bell singing the song. I'm guessing I didn't see the movie. It's probably like a duet at a karaoke bar or something, because the main female character is getting close to her father in the movie. Also, it was used in 1999's The Virgin Suicides movie. So it's on two soundtracks, like Father in the movie and The Virgin Suicides in that movie. So Come Sail Away is my number 10. Over to you, sir, for your
All right.
987.
My 987. Oh my God. Well, we're going to jump records, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to Love in the Midnight from 1979's Cornerstone. Again, like Creedon was talking about, that was my first concert experience. It was me at that young age. I was a big Styx fan, big Tommy Shaw fan. And going to that show in 1979 when it's just a wee lad was one of those moments where, the skies part, you know, it was wonderful. So, but I'm going to go with number nine, Love in the Midnight, penned by Tommy Shaw. It's phenomenal. The only critique that I have on Cornerstone, and I've mentioned this before, is this is when Styx shifted to Pumpkin Studios in Oak Lawn. So Rob Kingsland and Gary Lozo produced it, engineered it. So we have Barry Mraz seems to be out of the picture, and I think that when they made this transition to Pumpkin, things kind of became colder. You don't get the production like you had on Grand Illusion or well, practically anything else before. We get a much colder sound. Now, is that good or bad? Does everybody pick up on that? Well, I picked up on it, and I know the band picked up on it. But still, the songwriting on Love in the Midnight, beautiful Tommy Shaw, absolutely stunning track. You've got great Fender Rhodes by Dennis DeYoung. You've got horns and strings. I mean, it got up to number two. I mean, Cornerstone as a record got up to number two on the Billboard 200. It was certified 2 times platinum. So obviously something's going right. But anyway, I think it's a great track. I love it. Tommy Shaw, his vocals are top notch. The hooks on this track, phenomenal. All right, number eight. Well, kids, since we're on Cornerstone, we're going to stay on this record. So I'm going to go with a track that is a collaboration between Tommy Shaw and Dennis DeYoung. We're going to go with the track Lights that's on Cornerstone. Uh, again, and same thing. It's a little bit cold production compared to what came before, but you've got a beautiful horn arrangement by Ed Tossing. Wonderful. Again, it's uplifting. It's Tommy Shaw in his prime. Tommy sounds wonderful on this track. It is inspirational. What can I say? It's a great track. All right, number seven. My God, look at this. We're going to change records, kids. We're going to go with Snowblind from Paradise Theater. This is a James Young and Dennis DeYoung track. It's a drug song. Snow is a cocaine metaphor. You know what this is about. And I'm sure by this time in 1981, the boys were probably doing a lot of coke, and this is what it reflects. So again, you've got that same production that you had on Cornerstone. And I've talked about it before on different channels. You can take Cornerstone, Paradise Theater, and Kilroy and take all of those songs and mix them up in a jar. They all sound the same. They would all fit together. They all have that same production. So it's Rob Kingsland and Gary Loizo. I'm going to butcher his name. Recorded at Pumpkin. I'm not sure. I wish they kept Barry around because I think it would have just worked out better. But whatever, whatever. But I think Snowblind is the key track on this record. Um, this was not. I don't believe. Well, I think there was a single. I think this only got to number 22 on the charts. But great track anyway. I love it. It's a drug song, kids, but it's a great track. I think it's the best track on the whole damn record. Anyway, there you go. That's my number seven. I'll turn it over to Mr. Cretin.
Well, just to jump on what you said about Snowblind,
Yes, sir.
it
Yes,
hit
sir.
number 22 on my beloved mainstream rock chart in Billboard magazine. It was
Okay.
actually the B-side of some singles, but
So
had
how does that work if it's the B side of some singles? Was it
it
a
just
B side in the? Was it a B side on a U.S. single or like in
yes, I
another?
think it was Nothing Ever Goes as Planned, the third single, if
Interesting.
memory serves, but it got airplay on rock radio. I remember hearing it in 1981,
I do
1982
too. I
on my New
remember
York
that.
station. So on the airplay charts, it wasn't a single for the Hot 100, but it did get airplay on FM rock radio.
Well, there you go. I mean, you know what? If you think about it, Davey, the amount of airplay that it did get on FM rock radio, you would have thought that this was the single. I swear to God. They played this all the time, you know? Now, not so much, but it's a great track back in the day. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, my number nine, I'm going to go way back in the way back machine. Sticks 2.
Oh my.
Actually, you know what? I'm wrong. Sorry, my bad. Actually, I have the wrong album. The Serpent is
Oh
Rising.
goodness.
I'm going to The Serpent is Rising. This is their third album. I am picking a Dennis DeYoung vocal and written song, 5 minutes long. The Grove of Eglantine is my number nine. From The Serpent
Oh,
is Rising.
phenomenal track. I could have picked that as well. That is, yes, I applaud you, Davey. I applaud you. Great
Thank you.
track.
I wrote down this prog rock pen tune has some sterling six-string pyrotechnics from JY and JC, John Kurlewski. Eglantine begins at 27 seconds of Dennis DeYoung. Sounds like he's playing a harpsichord almost, or a harpsichord sound on his keyboard for the first 27 seconds. And then the band kicks in with these Stygian power chords. During the harmony vocals, you definitely hear JY's high harmonies busting out of the mix and popping out of the triad three-part harmonies between JY, DDY, and JC. The Twins add a solid bedrock foundation for the boys to add on to. Now, some think the parent album, which only hit number 192 on the Billboard charts in late 1973, is a loosely based concept record because of a John Kurlewski's title track, The Serpent is Rising, is about, the serpent rising, quote unquote. And then Dennis DeYoung's song is about, well, the female part of that equation. So do the math yourself. Dennis has some cool, subtle organ work throughout the song, and the proggy midsection has a nice melange of piano, synths, and electric guitars too. I'd say this is an overlooked song in the catalog. It rocks, it's proggy, has guitars, great vocals. Grove of Eglantine from The Serpent is Rising, my number nine. Moving on, my number eight, written and sung by Tommy from the much maligned Kilroy Was Here album. And I'm going with another deep track, Just Get Through This Night by
Mm.
Tommy from their platinum selling 11 studio album, Kilroy Was Here. The album hit number 3 on the charts. This is, to me, to my ears, the closest thing to prog on the record. And I wrote down it's a moody mini masterpiece. It's buried deep on side two of the record. It's definitely exotic, erotic, and neurotic, if you ask me. Tommy opens up playing a Japanese instrument he got in 1982 when Styx toured Japan. And I spoke about this on Grant's Rock Warehouse. He was gifted because the Japanese are famous for giving gifts a stringed instrument, a stringed Japanese instrument called the shamisen. Shamisen, if I'm pronouncing it right. So he's plucking away at that at the beginning of the song, and Dennis has some like a bed of synths underneath it. And then when Tommy starts singing, Dennis switches to accordion. So he's back to his first instrument. Tommy's vocals come in this plaintive vocal, and Dennis is playing accordion. And Dennis also has some great piano playing throughout this song. There's a beautiful bridge section where Tommy is intoning his passionate vocals. And when he says, and I love these lyrics, I'm going to quote them again. I quoted them on Grant's Rock Warehouse. Quote, "Don't you know there's no place on this earth where you can run to escape the pain of a broken heart? It's useless to spend the time it takes you to try." And after going through a lot of relationships in my life, this is one of those songs I turn to just for those lyrics. I love Tommy's words, that part of the song. And after he intones those lyrics, sings that part, he has this really mellow, low key, sublime guitar solo, which I think is really good. Another overlooked gem of a song in the Styx catalog. Just get through this night. My number eight. Moving on to my number seven now. I'm going to go way back to Styx 2, their
Hmm.
second album, which is basically spearheaded by Dennis DeYoung, the whole album. There are no James Young written songs on this album. And I'm going to put the intro in with this song because I think they go together. I'm going to do this a couple more times on my list. I'm going with the Johann Sebastian Bach classical piece that Dennis interpolates, Little Fugue in G, and then Dennis's written song, pen song, Father OSA. And this is Prague. This album hit number 20 when it was when Lady, of course, was the big hit from the album when they reissued it in 75, and that broke the top 10 in the singles chart. The album went to number 20, certified gold, Styx 2. This is an organ-led, prog-tinged rocker. Like I'm Okay, Dennis DeYoung recorded the organ, and this was the first time he used the church organ on a Styx record at the St. James Cathedral in Chicago. And when Dennis hits those lower keys in Little Fugue in G, I remember I used to turn the bass up on my stereo. Used to love doing that just to drive my parents crazy when I was a kid. And then it goes into Father OSA because John Panazzo has a drum roll and a fill that take us from Little Fugue in G right into Father OSA. Once again, Dennis brings a vivacious vocal performance ballad tinged verses as JY and JC strum away on some nice acoustic guitars here. Then you get a great electric guitar hook as Dennis digs deep on his organ. John Panazzo also has some dramatic drum work throughout this song. And Dennis plays exquisite piano flourishes as the track slowly fades out. This is a longtime favorite of mine from my favorite album from the Wooden Nickel era, Styx 2. So that is my number seven, Little Fugue in G, coupled with Father OSA.
All
Over to
right.
you, sir.
All right. So we are on number six.
Six, yes, six,
All
five, and
right,
four.
cool. Thank you. I'm glad you're keeping track, Davey. I'm not gonna keep track. Anyway, all right, number six. Wow. Cretin is hitting out of the park. He is going all over the catalog. I'm going to go with a track off of 1975's Equinox. This is Dennis DeYoung's Bicentennial Critique. My God, I'm going to go with Sweet Madam Blue. On another day, this could have been higher, but it's not today. Engineered by Barry Mraz, who I think is there. Barry Mraz, in my honest opinion, was there, shall we say, Terry Brown, if you know what that means. I think Barry Mraz was there, George Martin, and it shows here. The production on here is phenomenal. You've got one of the greatest guitar riffs of all time when that riff comes in the middle section, you show me a better riff that has energy. It's thick, it's powerful. This whole song is just a powerhouse. One of Dennis's best written tracks. Phenomenal. Phenomenal because it rocks. It's still a bit proggy. I love it. All right, my number five. We're going to go to the album from 1976, Tommy Shaw's debut. And what a debut. Tommy Shaw is bringing it already. I'm going to go with the track Crystal Ball, a ballad. It's, oh my God, the acoustics ring out on here. One thing you can mention about Tommy Shaw, not only is he a phenomenal guitar player, some of the you listen to any of those solos on Grand Illusion that he played, underrated, phenomenal tone, great player, but his acoustic playing, look at Crystal Ball, absolute phenomenon. It's just a phenomenal thing. Uh, Now, this I do believe was released as a single, but I don't think it charted in the Hot 100, did it, Davey? I don't think it did.
It did not.
Um, it did not.
And
But
it
I
was even
think
on the Roadie soundtrack too, and it didn't chart.
damn Roadie soundtrack, a movie that no one went to see. Anyway, so I think as far as Tommy Shaw goes, look at you. They bring him in. They use the track Crystal Ball, which is phenomenal. They did drop a verse on here. If you go out on YouTube, there is a version of Tommy doing it with the verse that is totally intact. So they did edit this down a bit. But go out and check it out on YouTube. There, the whole song is out there. Anyway, but I think it's a highlight. Great debut for Tommy Shaw. Phenomenal. Number four, and I will go on record saying that this is the greatest James Young song of all time. I'm going to go with Grand Illusions, Miss America. So, my God, again, the riff. Show me a better riff from 1977. Phenomenal. You know, even though James Young has taken a step back, because look, you've got Tommy Shaw in the band. How is James Young going to compete with Tommy Shaw? I mean, I'm just saying, between us girls, there's no competition. But this, I would go on record saying, is one of the greatest James Young tracks. I think it has everything. It's rocking, it's heavy, it's catchy, it's got great production. What more can I want from this? It's a phenomenal track, and James Young at his best. Number three.
Actually, yeah, it's
What?
654. Did you do three?
What
Three
did
of
I
them?
say?
You said at number three.
I
Did you
did
mean?
654. Oh, sorry. Forget number three. I'm
Okay.
done.
So you did your three. The one thing
I
I'll
did.
add about Miss America at your number four, great
Mm.
keyboard intro by Dennis DeYoung.
Hmm.
And there's some nice, I'm guessing it's 12, I'm guessing it's Tommy on 12 string in the background, very low in the mix. You sort of need headphones to hear it. He's playing some nice 12 string before JY kicks in with that before that great
Yes.
riff you described comes in.
Yep.
So
And
I
I
love
think
the intro.
is James Young playing the solo on that track too? I
Yeah,
think.
because he wrote it, definitely.
Yeah. So it's phenomenal. That is peak James Young. I'll go on record with that. So there you go.
Okay, my number six, I do have the CD for it. It's a 2-on-1 from BGO. It's that European import. Ooh, there's John
What?
Karlewski sitting there in the
Oh
middle.
my goodness, look at him. Yep.
That's for the Equinox album, but I am going to Crystal Ball, an album you just mentioned, the debut of Tommy Shaw, and I am picking a different song than you did.
Oh,
I am going with a song co-written by Dennis and Tommy from this album, and I'm coupling it with the piano intro, Claude Debussy, wrote Claire de Lune, and Dennis does a version of that that goes right into the final track, Ballerina. So you
Mm,
get a little over a minute of Dennis playing Claire de Lune on the piano, and then it goes right into Ballerina. Add them both up together. It's a little over 7 minutes. Dennis sings this song. I wrote down what an awesome album closer. And thinking about it from what you said from Man of Miracles, the title track
yes.
ends their
Mm,
fourth album. Sweet Man and Blue that you brought up ends their fifth album with a bang. And then Ballerina ends the sixth album, Crystal Ball, with a bang. So they got three amazing songs to end their fourth, fifth, and sixth album. This is from their sixth album and only charted at number 66, certified gold in America. Yet again, starts off as a ballad, builds with intensity into the hard rock guitar number that it is. Specialty of Dennis and Styx throughout their career. Another wonderful bridge middle eight section with Dennis singing, and you get Tommy on 12-string shimmering electric guitar. I love that bridge section. Awesome bridge. And then you get JY on sizzling lead guitar work here. The last 2 minutes of Ballerina is hard rock. It may be the closest to metal that Styx ever came because JY and Tommy are trading off lead electric guitar solos there. And it's very heavy. It's probably one of the heaviest unknown moments in the Styx catalog. I think Ballerina is a great song, and it ends the Crystal Ball album in fine style. That's my number six. Moving on to the Paradise Theater album, a track you mentioned, my personal favorite from the album, Snowblind, written by JY and Dennis with Tommy Shaw on uncredited lyrics because he's
oh,
the one at the time and he's quoted as saying, I'm going to paraphrase what he said, is that in the early 80s, he was doing cocaine. He said, cocaine is not a good drug. It makes you into a moron, makes you into an idiot. That's how I'll say what he said. He said he should have tried heroin because he heard it was a cooler high, but thank goodness he never tried heroin. But he was doing
my God, he
cocaine.
would have been doomed.
Exactly. So it's good that he didn't do that, but he was doing cocaine to deal with his fame, and it was around probably his relationship with certain people at the time I won't name, but
I don't have no any idea.
if you know Tommy Shaw, I just don't want to say anything, get myself in trouble by saying something on the internet I shouldn't say. From their 10th album, the triple platinum, and their only number one album, studio record, Paradise Theater, you get Snowblind. And as I said, it hit number 22 on my beloved mainstream rock charts, which I have in my notes because that's what I used to live for. I would buy Billboard magazine and I would always check the mainstream rock chart. I always loved that chart. The lyric in the song, when because JY sings the verses and Tommy sings the choruses, and the difference in their voices and the different in the sounds of the sections are supposed to represent the highs and lows of a drug addict. So when JY sings, I try so hard to make it so, there were parents who were playing the record backwards. And they said that Styx were saying Satan moves through our voices. If you
Of
play the
course.
record backwards, I try so hard to make it so, is Satan moves through our voices. And Dennis is quoted as saying, why were people playing our records backwards? We had enough trouble getting them to sound right and proper forwards. Who the heck is going to play it backwards? And why would a band that did the song Babe write about Satan? And he just dismissed it as
Hey,
outright craziness.
everybody has their thing.
It was the Satanic Panic back in the early 80s. And Styx, along with Queen, ELO, and then the Beatles from back in the day, the parents got mad in America and middle America, especially down south, and the PMRC was formed with Tipper Gore, and they started putting stickers on records eventually, which
Yep.
Dennis sort of wrote about censorship on Kilroy was here. So Dennis was a bit of a prognosticator, but I'm going off on a Grant-esque tangent, which you do all the time. Getting
Yeah,
back,
but you're allowed to, Davey. It's your
it
channel.
is my channel, you're right.
Right,
But this is such
exactly.
a long show, so I'm going to get back to my notes. It's one of the proggier tracks, if not the proggiest track on the record. Great keyboards by Dennis, bass by Chuck, drums by John. You get the dual JY Tommy Shaw vocals. Crazy guitar solo by JY here in the middle. Great guitar solo. And like you said, song is all about drugs, but it is a great song. And it's our favorite song from Paradise Theater. So that's my number five is Snowblind. Moving on to my number four, I'm going to go back to an album we already mentioned, a song you haven't mentioned yet, from Pieces of Eight. I am going to the song that is written by JY and Dennis DeYoung. Deep on side two, 5 minutes, 41 seconds. Queen of Spades, baby.
Oh, well.
From their
Yeah.
triple platinum eighth studio record, Pieces of Eight, comes this song. It's another Styx song with multiple personalities, you could say. It starts off as a haunting ballad for the first minute 46, and then at 147, the band kicks into high gear. This song, even, and people might think I'm crazy for saying this, it has a bit of an Iron Maiden type gallop to it at points. Junk, 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 when JY's playing that guitar part. It also reminds me of Born for Adventure from the Equinox album. Now, the beginning is all Tommy Shaw on ringing, chiming, 12 string, probably a double neck electric guitar, I'm guessing. He's playing that part on the 12 string electric, that bow now, 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 bow now, now. I love that part of the song. And DDY, Dennis is on synth, and you get Chuck on plucked, deep, resonant bass guitar notes. He's just boom, he's just popping through the mix there. Then at 147, JY ups the ante with his insistent lead guitar line. And Dennis all of a sudden switches up from balladeer to a hard rocker just to prove the naysayers wrong. JY has a stonking guitar solo halfway through the song, which leads to Dennis's high note at 341 when he says, and I'm not going to do it because I can't hit that note, when he goes,
Oh, oh, do it.
turn of a card, she's there. And he really goes up
Yeah,
much higher than
he,
that.
he can't do it.
It's amazing when he does that. I love that. Could be my favorite part of the song when he hits the word there and just jumps up an octave. JY has another Sterling solo from 432 to 504. He's got some, what sounds like to me, whammy bar action, a bit of a hammer on that he's playing, and some feedback, definitely. And as he's fading out with his feedback, the eerie intro music comes in underneath him and it re enters as his last feedback is fading out and it's swallowed by Dennis's synth. Do, 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 do. And I love his synth work on this song. This is my favorite JY contribution to the Styx catalog. Queen of Spades is my high point for JY, with Dennis
Wow.
singing like a real rocker. So that is my four, Queen of Spades from Pieces of Eight. Your top three, Grant.
Yeah, that was my number 11. But on another day, Davey, I could totally see that being that high. Again, if we followed anybody on these panels, you could ask me on another day what my top 10 would be. It would change, but it's all fun. It's just about talking about this band's really what it comes down to. Um, excuse me. I still have sickness. All right. Where am I at now? Number three?
Number three, three, two, one, top
All
three,
right.
baby.
All right. Well, you're not gonna be surprised because a lot of these are Tommy Shaw songs. Number three, and I'm gonna go with probably one of the greatest Tommy Shaw tracks with a phenomenal riff. And could this be probably the best track on Grand Illusion? Possibly. I'm gonna go with Man in the Wilderness. Now, if you've got that Styx Greatest Hits CD, that's two CD set, came out, what, in the early 2000s? That, if you have that, that's got an extended, okay, of course, originally they faded it out, but on there, you get the entire, you get like a minute and a half extra of Man in the Wilderness. Absolutely phenomenal. That's the version you want. Because the guitar solos extend out, absolutely wonderful. But again, production is great. It is an example of Tommy Shaw at his peak, melodic guitar solos. Tommy Shaw's electric sound on this track is absolutely killer. It's phenomenal. Fans love it. The women love it. Everybody loves this track. Phenomenal production. What can I say? It's phenomenal. All right, number two, I'm going to go with Blue Collar Man off of Pieces of Eight. Again, this was a single, got to number 21 on the Hot 100. There, Cretan has the uh, cover. Excellent job, Cretan. But come on, this song rocks. And this is why we've been on shows and I've talked about Tommy Shell's solo career. And then when he finally got out of Styx and he did Girls with Guns, I was expecting more Blue Collar Man or, you know, Renegade or something like that. And we never got that. Uh, that's just a pop record. Now you may like it, you may not like it, but not quite up to the high levels that you got on Styx Pieces of Eight. But anyway, riffs, great production, phenomenal. My number one, yes, it still gets played on FM rock radio today, but I'm going to go with Renegade. Blue Collar Man and Renegade, I could flip them. Today it's Renegade. You got that whole acapella intro, which is great. That is what Stick sounds like. If you're thinking Stick, when your monkey brain, I hear that intro and I'm going, yes, those are Styx harmonies. It's got the same production as Blue Collar Man. It's not sterile. It's still warm, but it's dramatic. You've got that whole narrative that the song has in it. You know, he's a renegade, damn it. Just trying to live. But this got up to number 16 on the Hot 100. Everybody knows this track. What more can I add? I think that we were talking about, is Come Sail Away iconic Styx? It is, but I think maybe Renegade, Davey, is, if you listen to radio today, I think it might have surpassed Come Sail Away, though. You have to look at Come Sail Away as another level because think about that whole synthesizer. I didn't even mention Come Sail Away. I could have. Well, I will. But, that whole synthesizer section, I don't know. But I think Renegade has probably surpassed Come Sail Away. Do I agree with that? Well, it is my number one today, but maybe
Well,
not. Tomorrow I might look at it differently.
it is 2 minutes shorter than Come Sail Away. Come Sail Away is a little over 6 minutes. Renegade is a
Not the
little over 4.
45 version.
We should tell you a story about that.
Oh, when I bought, okay, I was at middle school and my art teacher played Styx Grand Illusion in art class. Um, and me, being a young, impressionable Beatle fan, I heard that and I went, oh my God. So I went out and got the 45 of Come Sail Away because that's what was out. Now I was used to the 45 version that cuts out that whole guitar synth section. And I do believe I'd have to listen to it again, but I think they cut out a verse too. And I was used to that. And then once I heard on FM rock radio when they played the whole thing, I was going, what is this? I never heard, and I could never get used to it. It took years for me to get used to that whole album version of that track. But the 45, you have to admit, was nice, short. You did miss that whole that whole guitar synth thing in the middle. I didn't. I didn't even know about it.
Well,
But
there were three versions. The album length version. I bought the
okay,
album in late 1977. One of the first,
okay.
that was my first record purchase. It must have been late in the year because I also bought the same day, besides the Grand Illusion by
Hmm.
Styx, I bought The Stranger by Billy Joel, which came out
Oh,
later on the same year. I bought
okay.
those together, I think at Corvettes back in the day. To those of you who remember the store Corvettes on the Northeast coast over here where I am, in New York over here.
New York.
New York over here. Sometimes the friggin' accent comes out over here. But at any rate, there's the full length album version, a hair over 6 minutes. The single version was, I think, 3:23.
That
And then
sounds
there's
about right.
another version that cuts out the whole synthy and guitar solo that was about 4:30. So there are three different length versions of this song. And that's why you were so surprised when you heard it. And it was this
Yeah.
like double the length almost. And I was
Hmm.
used to the version I was hearing on WNEW FM at the time here in New York and WPLJ when it was a great rock station. That's the version I heard when I found FM rock in 1977. And it blew my puny mind because I was only listening to AM radio before 1977.
It is what it is, Davey. I'm just saying. But it was quite revolutionary when you got to hear that long version because you're going, well, same thing with Don't Fear the Reaper. What else? Carry on, Wayward Son.
That's the one I
That
was
was,
waiting for you to mention.
but I was so used to the 45 because that was my gateway drug. I bought the 45 when I was a kid, and I was used to that shortened version. And then once I heard the long version, I went, my goodness, what is this? Is this the work of Satan? I don't know, maybe.
That would be in a few years in the 80s.
Yeah. But anyway, it was just amazing that they cut down these tracks so much. But whatever. Hey, even the single versions, I like it anyway. They were good. It was great. You know?
Well, they're not as bad as taking Roundabout by Yes, the 8 minute song, and cutting that down to 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that.
And they
That's
did it
I've
also
heard it.
Kansas Song for America, a
Hmm.
10-minute track to I think 303 or something. And it's that's like an abortion, that version of Song for America. Oof.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The quote of the evening. That is an abortion.
Sorry about that. Shouldn't use the A
Uh,
word. Okay, I'm going to move on to my number three, and it comes from this album, The Grand Illusion, the seventh album. I'm going with a song that Grant did not mention. Dennis wrote it, Dennis sang it. It's the next to last song on the record, Castle Walls.
I could
That
have picked
is
that too.
that is my number three. It starts off with Chuck Panazzo plucking his bass one note at a time. Boom, 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 boom. And it has this, you hear someone breathing, probably Dennis, because it's his song. And then Dennis comes in on keyboards, and it's prog right from the beginning. It's mysterious, it's weird. It has this unusual, almost unearthly sound. The song builds into the first chorus 90 seconds in, and then you get that hard rocking sticks. And then before the 2 minute mark, it changes back to that haunting verse melody. And you get Tommy Shaw playing these melodic lead fills on guitar. Then at 2.5 minutes, perhaps the proggiest sticks moment in the whole catalog,
Mm.
begins with Dennis DeYoung, and he's playing like a blaring synth. Do 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 do, and it's really loud, and it just pops right out of the mix. Also, you get guitar power chords, and you get these great drum fills and rolls from John Panazzo, an underrated drummer here in the middle section. He might be playing toms or even octobans if they were around at the time. It's just this unique drum sound in the middle of this song, and the tension builds. And then at 3:25 in, Dennis lets loose with this 8 minute resounding synth sound. Then at 3:49, it all drops out and stops, and you get Chuck again on bass. Boom, 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 boom. And then you get Dennis playing the organ, almost like it's not that Deep Purple sound, but he goes up and down the organ like that, like Rio from Spock's Beard would do. And it's just great. It kicks back in. You could interrupt if you want to say something.
No, no, no. I was just
Oh,
laughing. Yeah, you're right.
okay.
I was agreeing with you.
And then perhaps my favorite moment of the song comes at the 4:22 mark in. JY starts soloing and he's playing this really lead nasty electric guitar solo. And underneath, Tommy Shaw is playing this strident guitar chords. Bow, bow, now, now, bow, now, now, bow, now, now, bow, 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 now, now, bow, now, now. And JY soloing over that. And to me, it's such a great part of the song. I love that part. This was when the band was firing on all cylinders, and each member contributed to the overall composition. They may not have been credited, but Dennis wasn't a guitar player. He couldn't really tell the guys what to play. He might suggest something, but the guitar work was their own. So everyone back then was contributing. Then at 4:48 in the song, you get the final chorus entering the fray until the final mellow 50 seconds slowly fade out, and you get some simmering playing from the fearsome fivesome. This is Styx as a prog band. Castle Walls, my number three. Number two, a song Grant already mentioned.
Oh my.
Also from the Grand Illusion, and you get the extended version. And this is the original pressing. When this came out in 2004, you'll see the title here, Come Sail Away, the Styx Anthology. In
Yeah.
2006, they reissued it with the same cover under their Gold series. So now it's just called Styx Gold. Same cover, different title. Maybe Tommy and JY didn't want Come Sail Away in the title of a two CD set. Maybe it was the label's decision. Who knows? But my number two is Man in the Wilderness, baby. The
Yeah.
original album version. It's written by Tommy, sung by Tommy. Original studio version 550. The extended version is 657. So you get 67 seconds extra. Let's see, I wrote down that inspired by watching headliner Kansas play one of their songs with deep Kerry Livgren lyrics, Shaw penned this number about his rise to fame after he joined Styx and also his brother going off to fight in the Vietnam War. So when he says, I'm a soldier off to war, that part is all about Tommy's brother going to the Vietnam War.
Mm.
Everything gels perfectly in this outstanding Shaw composition, especially, and I'm going to say it again, Tommy's passionate vocals, acoustic guitar playing, and his wah-wah drenched guitar solo. Halfway, a little bit over halfway through the song, plays a great solo. Kudos to Dennis's keyboards on this song, and the twins add depth and tightness to the tune. And as I said, on the original LP version, Tommy is wailing on these ad lib vocal histrionics as the song slowly fades. And then when you get the extended version, you hear him like crying out and he hits this high falsetto note, which I'm definitely not going to try. And then
Beat
there's
me
a
to
lot
it.
of guitar playing there for the last minute plus that we had never heard until 2004 when this came out. Besides the fact that it has the extended version, this has 35 tracks on it. This is definitely
Hmm.
worth getting. You get from the first Styx album, Styx 1, and you get through Cyclorama 2003. You get the song One with Everything. So it starts with Best Thing from 1972 and it goes all the way to 2003 with ends with One with Everything. So it's definitely worth getting because you get the 67 extra seconds of Styx magic on this song. What else do I have here? Anything else? I just wrote a Styx nugget if there ever was one. So definitely, if you're not familiar with it, check out the song Man in the Wilderness. Grant and I both love it. Moving on to my number one, my final song. There could only be one for me. It's been a fan favorite for decades. It is from the Equinox album. Grant mentioned it already. There is the Equinox lineup. Gotta love Dennis's robe. Oop, wrong side. There's Dennis's robe.
Wow,
Silly.
look at that zoom in. My goodness.
And I am picking a song Grant mentioned. My number one, Sweet Madam Blue, written by Dennis, sung by Dennis. And to give John Kerlowski some love, I'm also going to mention Prelude 12. Why is it called Prelude 12? Because it's the prelude to Sweet Madam Blue, and he's
Yeah.
playing a 12-string guitar on it. His song is a minute 20 long, and then Sweet Madam Blue is 6.5 minutes. So you get almost 8 minutes of proggy goodness here. Equinox certified gold. hit number 58 in America. And at nearly 8 minutes in length, this is Styx at their hard rock, proggy best. Back in the day, to me, this was always the centerpiece and highlight of every Styx show I went to. And I'm talking about the early 80s with the original lineup. I saw them on the Paradise Tour once, and I think the Kilroy Tour twice, or reverse. I'm not even sure. I'd have to go
You
search
are
for
an
my ticket.
overachiever, Davy.
That was me back in the day. Huge Styx
I
fan.
hear
Like you said, Sweet Madam Blue is Dennis's take on America at the time, written for the bicentennial. And it's a combination of swirling synths, let me say that again, snarling lead guitars, and powerful vocals. And they lead the charge throughout the song. JY's memorable and haunting 12-string guitar instrumental begins the proceedings, and then it transitions right into Dennis DeYoung's masterful masterpiece, I have written down. Contains my favorite vocal performance from Dennis, and he used to hold the note in the song live forever. And I love the way he used to hold that note live.
you. Yeah.
Check out the live versions on YouTube. His keyboard work before the 3 minute mark is Prague once again. At 3:42, the lead guitar comes in and the tune really starts cooking. Sounds like JC on rhythm and JY on lead. Then at 4:31, they do the vocal section of America, America. And live back in the day, Chuck used to sing part of that. He would take one of the Americas because it's four-part harmonies. There would be a mic there on stage. He would only use it like one time during the show. And this was the time he would sing one of the Americas live in concert. It's a chaotic, frenetic ending, but to me, hands down, the best Styx song is Sweet Madam Blue. That is my number one. And Grant picked it too.
Wasn't
Any
my number
honor
one, but
any
well, I could.
honorable?
I'll go through a couple real quick. I don't want to
Okay.
keep everybody, but I have to mention Lady off the Sticks too. Come on, that was a hit. If Lady wasn't revamped, I mean, re-promoted in 1974, we may never have heard it again. Great track. Another track I'm going to mention is Best of Times by Dennis off of Paradise Theater. That's probably my favorite Dennis track off of that record. Uh, Tommy Shaw's guitar accents are phenomenal. Uh, Again, it's lush, it's nostalgic. There's strings. Dennis's vocals on that, though, very heartfelt. And I think it really makes an impact. And one of his best tracks, I think, off of Paradise Theater. My next one, I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go with a track off Equinox. And this, when I was a kid, man, I couldn't get enough of this. I still like it. But I'm going to go with Lorelei, which upbeat rocker, written by Dennis and James Young. Dennis's vocals on here, phenomenal. It's catchy. The keyboards are infectious. Driving guitars from James Young and John Kurlewski, phenomenal. It's got that sound that I like. It's got that sound. Barry Mraz. I'm just gonna say. Uh, I think this was a single too. Wasn't this a single? I think this
Yeah.
was on the Billboard 100 and got up to
36?
27.
Okay,
27.
27.
I think
Even
it got to
better.
number 6 in Canada. Did much better. So there you go. I'll just throw out those two and those three, and then I'm good to go.
Okay. And I'm going to mention from the Man of Miracles album, 4 minute song written and sung by Dennis, Christopher Mr. Christopher is one of my honorables.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down, I love the vocal here from Dennis, and you hear when they're singing the triad Styx vocal harmonies, JY pops right through the mix. He also has a neat guitar solo on this song, and Dennis has some proggy keyboard fills throughout. It's a song with religious overtones, but it's still a great song. Christopher, Mr. Christopher is my number 15. My number 14 honorable mention, written and sung by Tommy Shaw from the Return to Paradise album, one of the new studio cuts, On My Way. 5 minute song. It's an excellent mid-tempo rocker. Throwback
No,
to
no, wait, Davey, you said Rocka.
rocker. There's my New York
You New
accent.
Yorker. It's
coming
a
through.
rock.
It's a rock over here.
Oh, oh
To
my
me,
God.
it's a throwback to 70s sticks. You get great vocal harmonies, and you could hear Dennis and JY. Nice keyboard work from Dennis, some great wah-wah solos from Tommy Shaw on this song. It's a keeper. Check it out if you don't know it. On My Way from 1977. And then my last song that I will mention is going to, I mentioned it earlier, but it's going to reference and it's going to stand for all the songs from the later albums. And I don't know where my booklets are. I
Hmm.
moved them. Ah, here they are. All the three later albums, the comeback album,
Oh,
which I'm surprised you didn't
okay.
have a song off any of them.
Well, no,
But
because the golden period, the classic lineup period, far excels. Even though I've mentioned the mission, I've mentioned that the mission could easily come after Pieces of Eight. It would fit right in. But still, there are still tracks, Cornerstone, Paradise Theater, that are absolutely phenomenal. No, I'm not, critiquing the mission, which is phenomenal for later period sticks, but there are just tracks that still rise above.
okay. So this song represents to me the post Dennis DeYoung period. Song written by five band members: Tommy Shaw, James Young, Glenn Burtnick. Got to mention him because he was a part of
Got to
Styx
mention
a few
Glenn.
times. Yep. Lawrence Gowan, who took over for Dennis, and Todd Zuckerman, the drummer. They're all credited with writing this song, 5 minutes, 55 seconds, from the Cyclorama LP I'm going to. Tommy Shaw
Wow.
sings it, and it's one with everything. This is my favorite song from the post Dennis period, written by all five guys. This is an excellent prog tinge tune, rocking guitar work, dancing keyboards from Gowan, incredible drums from Todd Zuckerman, underrated, undervalued drummer. Guy's a monster on the kit. And especially his drum fill at the 525 mark is great. He just goes around the kit like Roger Taylor did in, what was the Queen song? Not Fat Bottom Girls.
Uh,
No, it
uh,
is Fat Bottom Girls. The one couple with Bicycle Race.
yeah.
Where he does that, Roger Taylor does that great drum fill to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I'm
Todd
with you.
Zuckerman does it here on One with Everything. Absolutely worth hearing if you don't know the song One with Everything. And it's a shame that this lineup, the five-man Styx here with Glenn on bass, only did one album together. I think Cyclorama has some great stuff on it.
Yeah.
To me, it's a little underrated. Great tunes, and my favorite is One with Everything at my number 13. And now, before we close the episode, I would like to
Well,
say,
I need to say one thing before we go
okay,
on. You mentioned that Gowan replaced Dennis DeYoung, and I want to set the record straight, ladies and gentlemen. There's no replacing Dennis DeYoung. Lawrence Gowan he, he's phenomenal on his own. I don't have a problem with Lawrence, but you can never replace Dennis DeYoung. And I do want to throw that out there. And see Tranquility. We looked at those Dennis DeYoung solo albums. We ranked those records. If you think that, I just have to throw it out there. If you have not heard any of those Dennis DeYoung solo albums that came out on Frontiers, the last two records, do yourself a favor. You really have to go check out. Dennis at his age put those out. Absolutely, there's prog on those. There's ballads. There's rockers. There's no replacing Dennis DeYoung. He is the heart, the soul of Styx. I'll still say that. And but Lawrence Gowan, phenomenal. But there's no replacing Dennis. There, I went on a tangent.
that's okay. I appreciate you correcting me because I
Well, it's
feel the
no
same way.
correction, but it's not a correction. But I just have to say there is no replacing Dennis. He is what he brought to Styx, and you can't argue with that. Just absolutely phenomenal. And you know what? If it wasn't for Dennis always leading the way to a certain point, they would never have achieved that success. that
Right.
they achieved. So just to stick up for Dennis, I don't like when people, I'm not saying this is happening here, but those people go, oh, well, all those ballads, blah, blah, blah. You listen to those later Frontiers CDs, there's all kinds of stuff. Dennis rocks out hard. There is prog on those. So I'm just saying, do yourself a favor before you can't find those anymore and go check those out. There, that's my public service announcement.
The great prog song Island of Misanthrope.
But no, Davey, phenomenal, right?
It's prog, yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Go
And
check it
there are
out.
some gems on the A&M records too. I know sometimes some people might not like them. I think there are some good ballads and wonderful songs.
Yeah.
Desert Moon is a great song. Don't Wait for
Oh,
Heroes rocks.
mhm.
Good stuff. There's good stuff on the
Go
A&M
check out
program.
Dennis's solo catalog. I would have to say, I know Pete Pardo weren't talking about. I think that Dennis's catalog is pretty strong. There's some tracks on there you may look at it and go, eh. But overall, I think it's a pretty solid catalog.
Is it better than Tommy's?
Yes,
Oh, strong words. Wow.
I would have to say, yeah. I love Tommy Shaw, but I've always been disappointed in his solo output.
Okay. Well, there is one great hard rock song from Girls with Guns, Come In and Explain. I think is a bit of a hard rocker. No?
Girls with Guns was a big disappointment
I always
for
liked that
me.
record.
Yeah, but when I was expecting when he this is what we thought when he got out of Styx, because it was always put to us that all this ballad stuff was Dennis. When Tommy was able to get back out, we would have Tommy out rocking hard, Renegade, Blue Collar Man, you name it. That's what my buddies and I expected, and we never got it.
Oh, you got it, but in 1990 with the first Damn Yankees record. That's when you got it.
Okay,
6 years,
why
six,
didn't we
seven
get it
years
on the
after the
first?
fact.
Why didn't we get it on the A&M stuff?
A&M Records, they probably pressured him. You need hits. You're a solo artist. You need top hit singles to make it as a solo artist. I think it was the record company.
I
That
think it
was
was the
part of it.
cocaine. That's what I think.
It could have been that too, and the booze or whatever he was doing back in the day. But a lot of people in the music biz fell into that. You want to talk about what you have coming up on Grant's Rock Warehouse? We're probably going to air this
Jesus.
episode this coming Friday or Saturday, just to let you
Oh,
know.
well, Friday or Saturday. If I have to wait that long.
Well, you could talk about Sunday. You have a standing Sunday show.
Sunday we will be doing Angie Moon will be back. We will be doing a warehouse acid test at 9 a.m. where we will be playing featuring Donovan, just trying to tune into people. So Angie will be back. And then the listening party will be happening at 8 p.m. Even though at this date when we're recording, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. So,
Okay.
but we will be doing a listening party, 2 hours in the warehouse. So
Nice. Every Sunday night on Grant's Rock
always,
Warehouse.
always.
And that's Haus, just so
100.
everyone
Yes,
spells it.
sir. Yes, you are. Yes. But you can look it up and spell it the regular way and they'll still come up.
Oh, that's good. Any other shows coming up or guest appearances?
Oh, there's plenty. I don't, off the top of my head, though, I don't know. No, I don't have anything right. But for Saturday, no, there's more for the week following. So I just don't know what that is.
And later on in the springtime, I will be back on Grant's Rock Warehouse. We have a new series cooked up for you guys, but we're not saying what band or artist it's about.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you and I discussed it last year, so we're going to get to that eventually. And every month we have the year shows,
Yeah.
usually the second Monday, live, 8 o'clock
Yeah.
Eastern Standard
Yes.
Time on Grant's
Yep.
Rock Warehouse. We all pick, it's a big panel full of great music swamis, as Martin Popoff would say, and we pick our favorite songs from each year. Last week we just did 1999, so go check that out on the Warehouse.
Yeah. We're going to be doing 1999. I don't know how far it's going to go.
Oh, we did. You're
Because
right. We did 98. We did 1998 last week.
when
Sorry.
we do get up to 2000s, I'm not sure how good I'll be at that, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, we'll see what's happening on the warehouse soon. So I'm going to close this episode by saying, excuse me, waitress, lattes and scones for everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment below. Put down what your favorite Styx songs are. Your favorite 3, 5, 10, whatever you want to do. If you want to do a dozen, do that. Good explosion, Grant. I'm
I know
David
I'm
Cretan.
exploding over here.
I'm Davey Cretan for Cretan Classics. And remember, everybody, to rock out, prog on, and pogo. And we'll see you in the next video. Grant, thanks for coming on.
You got it. It was fun. It's always talking fun. It's always talking. It's always talking
It's always talking
fun. That
fun.
makes no sense. It's always fun talking music with you, Cretin. Always
Exactly.
good time.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for having
coming
me. Of
on, Grant. Take
course.
care, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Shalom, y'all.